a sports renaissance. We've seen the revisit of, well, the Golden Knights, and now we're talking about the compensations for them. But let's first of all talk about the effect and the impact the results of this Golden Knights team can have on bringing this country together.
Well, sports it's a unifying um, element in a country, and that's now proven, where everyone dropped whatever the divisions are and pulled for the Bahamas. So that was seen in its most spectacular way in this 4x4 relay when they won the gold medal. I told the athletes that every Bahamian was running with them, panting with them on that last leg when Ramon, yeah, we were tactically deciding with him when to slow down, when to pick up speed. It was that kind of commitment, and so it's been a wonderful thing. I think what you will find as a result is that thousands of young athletes will be inspired by their performance. And what I'm trying to get Mr. Sands and those of the Athletic Association to do is to, with government support, private sector support, to go out there and find these young athletes now. Because what was stunning to me, Grenada produced a gold medal winner at 18 in the 400 meters. Trinidad, a gold medal winner in the javelin at 19 years of age. It means now, Olympics 4 years away, there is some talented athlete out there who we can find now who can be a star in the next Olympics. It has been proven. You don't have to debate it. It's just a question now of our using our best endeavors to find the talent out there. And when they are restricted by limited facilities or no facilities, we find a way, whether through scholarships or enlightened approach, to move them to an island where they could be chaperoned and supervised and really given the care the parents would give them, but giving them access to sporting facilities for them to have the maximum positive development of their talent.
Mr. Prime Minister, we're in the midst of a revolutionary renaissance of sorts as far as sports is concerned, and people around the world are asking. I was in Barcelona just a few weeks ago, coming back to London. Persons are asking the hard question: where are these athletes coming from? You talked about your endeavors in the 50s, and we talked about the Altheirs, the Christians, and we talked about all these. The Bahamas is now seen as one of the sports meccas of the world. How do we capitalize on the fact that the entire world is now looking at this small country and saying, how in the world are they doing it? They are a quarter mile factory. They're producing baseballers, basketballers. How do we capitalize on the fact that the whole world is looking at us in terms of sports?
I'm going to answer your question, but I want to make sure that we don't go up beyond where we ought to be in this. We still are not doing enough, and we're still not doing as well as we could. So let's put that, stick a pin and put that there. There's much more for us to do, much more for us to achieve. But we know that Chris, for example, comes from Wims's by Eleuthera. Two of the athletes come from Grand Bahama. So we know out there where we have populated settlements, the largest settlement in the Bahamas, 8 Mile Rock, Abaco, Exuma. We know that there are Andros. There's talent out there. We've seen it. We've seen basketball players being recruited and going to the United States from Andros and other islands. We've seen American football players come from places like Bimini. Baseball players are out there, lots of it now in the minor leagues. And so we have the potential to be even better and stronger. But what I'm asking now is that for us to put in place a more organized system of scouting, detection, finding the talent, being able to then streamline that and organize it in such a way where the talent is able to develop and mature with instructive advice.
The question that everybody's asking, and I believe we're there now, we have Olivia Sanders, who is actually spearheading the development of the College of the Bahamas and the university status. The question is, though, how does sports play a role in that? Because we see the College of the Bahamas as one of the beacons through which the conduit through which the rest of the region can actually come down and participate in sports. How do we use COB as the catalyst through which sports is actually developed in the Bahamas and also at the regional level?
Well, obviously, we have to create a culture where people with talent will be able to get an education.
Yes, sir.
And not because they lack the means that they cannot get an education. So, but the College of the Bahamas, therefore, like other colleges, other universities, must be so positioned that kids with talent will have the opportunity to get an education through the college and to have, through subsidies, a sponsored education, either in whole or in part. But long before that, I'm talking, because we're an island nation, I'm talking about giving kids an opportunity to get a high school education.
Yes, yes.
I'm talking about finding kids who are 14 and 15 and being able to sponsor them, either in having them placed with families, having them placed in an environment where their parents would know they're protected and nurtured, at the same time giving them access to a school, high school education, and access to facilities that will enable them to develop their talent, whether it's baseball, swimming, basketball, or track and field. Okay?
Now, my last thing is sort of for before, guys, were you inspired enough to go back and train?
Listen, I'm a wannabe. You know, I'm one of those fellas who had enough of it to know the glory, right, and basking in the adulation and adoration of people. I've had that. But to look at these fellas and to see what they have done, you know that very few in our country will ever have that opportunity. There's some talent out there we have to find, but and you can see it took a few years for the men to mature to the point where they got it after the Golden Girls. Our challenge is to look at countries in the region and to see that smaller countries like Grenada are producing athletes, to see the bigger countries like Jamaica and Trinidad producing athletes, and to know that we had a tradition of being there with them. We must maintain that tradition and do well.
Happy birthday, man.
Well, it's good for you.
Minister, we just want a couple comments from you now that you've returned and the team has returned on the overall performance. And I just want to share one concern that people are a little concerned that we are highlighting. It seems just the four, and I just want to give you an opportunity to reflect on the entire team.
Right. Well, you know, during the course of this whole thing, of course, I was there in London with the entire team, spoke with the team there. Since we've come back, I've made sure that at every event we have invited the entire team, coaches, family, everybody out, Government House, Prime Minister's lunch, even to various travel engagements. We've invited everybody out. A few people have come out. Unfortunately, some of these athletes do have prior engagements. Ariana had an engagement in the United States. You had some of the young men who had engagements back at school. School is opening for the student athletes
Right.
in 1 week. I think in the U.S. schools may have started
Some have already
yesterday.
started, yes.
And so it is unfortunate that you will have some spin in the public domain that the others were not included. That's not the case. This is a national event. Everyone was included in every event, even people who don't run, by the way.
That's great. That's great.
Even people who can't swim or anything. Everyone was actually invited. So we want to dispel that myth. I think that's a little mischief on the part of people who have nothing else to do. It is sad that they would tarnish such a moment in Bahamian history with even the mention of nonsensical statements. So let's dispel that. Everyone is invited to all of these things. They know we've sent out invitations to friends and families, even foes. And generally, 99% of the people who have come out have had a rip-roaring good time.
I know that the athletes have indicated that their schedule was most hectic, so we know that a lot has gone on.
Right.
I am pleased that you were able to clarify that because it is a concern with people raising the question as to who came back, who didn't come, who was invited, who wasn't invited.
Yeah. And of course, you know, the Golden Knights would be featured for obvious reasons.
Obviously.
So they're the feature at every event.
Right.
We just come back from Grand Bahama. You had the other quarter miler there, Andre Williams. You had Amara Jones. You had a couple other people there who live in Grand Bahama.
Yes, I saw that in
They were
Grand
there,
Bahama,
they came
more
out.
of them were
So
there.
the ones who live in Nassau should come out. The ones in Freeport should be there. The ones in... And this is a team.
Yes.
We went there as Team Bahamas. Not a bunch of individuals. We won as Team Bahamas, and you'll be surprised how much it takes to get these kinds of things going and sustained. It takes a lot. And normally, when you hear that noise from people, those are the people who don't assist, you know, and just complain. And this is not a time in this country for people who don't want to work. This is a
thank
time in this
you,
country
and
for people
it-
who want to get involved and help push this lorry, man.
Like I said, I thank you, and Certainly, we appreciate you clarifying that because that is the grumbling that we are hearing
Yeah.
from places at a time when we ought to be celebrating.
But us right now in this country, pay attention to the good that people are doing.
Yes.
Yes, you have 2 or 3 people out of 100 who are doing poorly. Don't forget the 98, 95 out of 100 who are really doing very well. I visited some schools, and they're talking so badly about young men. And yeah, there are 1 or 2 men who are young men who are having problems. But I see hundreds and hundreds of young men who are doing well in bands, in sports, in youth groups, in the church, taking care of their families, respecting God, building communities. Let's be very careful not to concentrate on the wrong thing. That is a distraction from the devil.
I'm hopeful schools are opening that if the athletes are still around, that they can join you at some of the
Well,
schools.
the next phase of this will be these guys, of course, have to attend
Have
to
to
their
attend,
personal
right.
schedules for
Right.
several weeks.
Absolutely.
But once schools open, probably at the end of September, you'll hear an announcement from the Ministry of Education. So this isn't just going to be a sports thing. I'm going to get these guys to go to education. They're going to do a tour of the schools nationwide, not just Nassau-wide, nationwide. They're going to then move to Ministry of Tourism. They're going to do not Nassau-wide, nationwide. They're going to then move to agriculture and fisheries, nationwide. You have regattas and homecomings, nationwide. You have stuff with social services, Planned Parenthood. These guys are young Christian gentlemen, nationwide. Yeah, you have Ministry of National Security where urban renewal is a part of that. We want to get them involved in that thing, not Nassau-wide, nationwide. So it isn't just my little ministry, this sports event. It is how we interpret what this means for us as a nation.
We certainly appreciate that you took this opportunity to share some of the projected events with Bahamas Athletics, but it is good to know that it won't end here, and certainly while they're tired, I think they appreciate that this is a grateful nation attempting to show their appreciation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Minister. We
Thank
will
you so
talk
much.
again.
Please.
Okay. Demetrius and Ramon, Bahamas Athletics just want to get your overall feeling on this whirlwind tour you've had and the recent found celebrity since you finally achieved what most people have been trying for years in many countries and never achieving a gold medal at the Olympics.
Well, first and foremost, we had to thank the Lord because without Him, none of this would have been possible. But yes, and we want to thank the Bahamian public and all our sponsors and everybody who supported us as we came home for the tour and getting greet and stuff. But it was like you said, it's an overnight experience for me. That's one day me, myself, and the guys, we did it at the Olympics. We bring home the gold, and it all started from there. Everybody bodyguarding us. We have like privilege and stuff to go in the front of the line. I still be on the line though, but and it's all right. It's all right feeling, I'm still soaking it in. Nothing to be hyped about. I don't really let things get the best of me. I stay calm like I am. But most of all, I all owe it to God, and without Him, none of this would have been impossible. So every morning I get up, every night I go to bed, I thank Him.
Before you pass it on to Demetrius, we just wanted to raise one question with you. You know that people tend to remember the person who begins the relay and those who end.
Yes.
Obviously, that's not really the essence of teamwork.
Yes.
But in this case, you anchoring in the final show you as a key player in it, and I guess this has been a really, for me, a good way for you to end it after you went to the next round in the 400. So we want to congratulate you and know that you expect more from you, and people are expecting more from the team that has come together.
Yes.
And so continue to work hard, and let's get a few words from Demetrius, who I guess I tease him more because he's in his younger years he was on some teams with me. I guess I won't tell them that. I'll tell them how old we are. But Demetrius, how are you enjoying? I know you're all just into Freeport and up and down, but how are you enjoying the way you've been?
Yeah, first and foremost, we want to give thanks to God. But we was in Freeport yesterday, and we're here now, so that should tell you everything is fast paced, But I wish we could have spent more time in Freeport. They had a lot to offer. They was more organized, and they was wishing and hoping for more days. But I guess more that will come down the road. I mean, it's good you didn't had everything just rush on to you at one time, but everything is going pretty good so far. I feel as if we're being treated okay, but not what we expect. Or what we not let me not say expect, but what we deserve. You understand? But we leave that like that. But I'm pretty happy for right now.
I'm Ramon Miller, and this is for BahamasAthletic.com.
I'm Demetrius Pinder, giving you the first breaks for BahamasAthletics.com.